Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kartiki Sneha Sachin Agarwal, and today let's go back in time, way back 65 million years ago. Dinosaurs roamed the earth, powerful, majestic, and dominant. But today they're gone. Fossils, skeletons, and museums are reminders of what it was once. Now, you might wonder, what do dinosaurs even have to do with dance? Well, a lot more than you would ever think. Dinosaurs did not disappear because they were weak. They disappeared because they couldn't adapt fast enough. And the world changed dramatically. Meanwhile, other species like small mammals adapted, evolved, and survived. Some even became us. And just like life on Earth, dance also has to evolve or risk going extinct. Imagine if we still danced the way our ancestors did 1,000 years ago. No new styles, no hip hop, no salsa, no contemporary, and no breakdance. Just the same steps. It would be like watching the same dinosaur documentary every day, on repeat, forever. But dance isn't extinct. It's alive because it changes with the culture, the generations, and the times. Every beat we move today is part of the long evolutionary story. Just like species evolve to survive, art evolves to stay relevant. Dance evolves to reflect who we are right now. It responds to the world of politics, technology, and emotions using nothing but just movement and music. If I were to ask you all now, what are the most famous dances of India? You heard it right. They are Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Odissi, and Kuchipudi. But today I'm going to be talking to you about the relation of Bharatanatyam and ballet. But before that, let us get to know more about ballet and all about it started. Ballet is often seen as a soft, graceful, and delicate dance, but behind every pointed toe and elegant leap is strength, discipline, and endless hard work. Ballet began over 500 years ago in the royal courts of the Italian Renaissance. It was not yet the refined art form we know today, but a form of court entertainment filled with graceful steps and elaborate costumes. The word ballet comes from the Italian word bellito, meaning little dance. From there, ballet evolved rapidly. The 18th and 19th centuries saw the rise of the romantic ballet in France and Russia, characterized by flowing tutus, point shoes, and dramatic designs. Ballets like Giselle and La Sylphide enchanted audiences with technical innovation and magical themes. Ballet then grew in popularity at court. Under her influence, a queen called Catherine de' Medici, an Italian noblewoman who later on became the Queen of France. Under her influence, ballet grew in popularity at court, especially during lavish royal events. By the 17th century, King Louis XII, also known as the Sun King, established Royal Académie des Danses in 1661, establishing ballet as a professional art. In the 20th century, visionaries like Sergei Diaghilev and the Ballet Russes revolutionized ballet with bold storytelling, dramatic designs, and modern music. Choreographers like George Balanchini helped shape ballet into the sleek, athletic, and expressive dance form that continues to evolve today. Ballet originally has three dance forms. They are classical, contemporary, and neoclassical. And now, as I said earlier, fusion dance is the fourth form of ballet. Let us get to know what fusion dance exactly is. Fusion dance is more than just combining styles. It's about breaking boundaries and creating something new. It's where hip hop meets classical, where contemporary flows into traditional, and where culture blends through movement. In a world that's constantly changing, fusion dance reminds us that differences aren't walls, they're bridges. And when we move together, we grow together. Fusion dance isn't just dance, it's creativity in motion, it's freedom, and most of it all, it's proof that when we join things, we multiply their meaning, don't erase it. Today, thank you for being my audience today. So, now if we don't want to be like these creatures in museums, let's start evolving.